Factoring polynomials. At this moment, we will be dealing with sum and difference of two cubes and perfect square trinomials. So in factoring perfect square trinomials, it is a must to memorize the following perfect numbers or perfect squares. So in perfect square trinomials, we have two situations here. X squared plus 2xy plus y squared. The factors are quantity x plus y times quantity x plus y, or we can write this in exponential form, quantity x plus y squared. And the other form is x squared minus 2xy plus y squared. So the factor of this form is quantity x minus y times quantity x minus y, or quantity x minus y squared. So this is the expanded form, this is the exponential form. Okay, so the only difference of these two is the middle term. This one it has plus, this one it has minus. If the given trinomial is a perfect square trinomial, the factor is so easy to get. Okay, so you will just go to the first term. The factor of x squared is x times x. The factor of y squared is y times y, and you already have the factors. But how are we going to identify if a given trinomial is a perfect trinomial? So this is how we're going to test it. So you will just square the first term. So in this case, the first term is x squared. Its square root is x. And this is the last term. What is the square root of the last term? Y squared. It is y. Then multiplied it by 2. If it coincides with the middle term, that particular trinomial is a perfect square trinomial. Okay, so we're going to test it in our first given, x squared minus 6x plus 9. So is it a perfect square trinomial? So let us test the perfect square trinomial test. Now let us square the first term. Square root of x squared is x. Then we will go to the last term. Square root of 9 is 3. Then we will multiply x times 3, then always multiplied by 2 like this. So our product is 6x. 6x. Question, did they coincide? Yes, they are. Therefore, x squared minus 6x plus 9 is a perfect square trinomial. So it means we can easily factor this. Just write down the parentheses, then go to the first term. What is the square root of x squared? Or the factor of x squared is x times x. How about 9? It is 3 times 3. But wait, we need to consider the middle term. It is negative. So it is negative 3 times negative 3. And we're done. We already got the factor of x squared minus 6x plus 9. Or we can write this in exponential form. The shorter, the better. So these answers are both correct and accepted. Okay? It is read as quantity x minus 3 squared. Now, for the second example, a squared plus 8ab plus 16b squared. So let us test if it is a perfect square. So we will square the first term a squared, and that is a. We will square the last term 16b squared, and that is 4b, because square root of 16 is 4, square root of b squared is b. Then we will multiply them, a times 4b times 2. So a times 4b times 2, the answer is, the product is 8ab. Did it coincide with our middle term? Yes, it is. Therefore, this expression is a perfect square trinomial. So we will now proceed to writing down the parentheses. Now, we will just go to the first term. The factor of a squared is a times a. Then go to the last term. The factor of 16b squared is 4b, or positive 4b. Since our middle term is positive, so they are all positive. And we already have the factors. Or we can write it in an exponential form, quantity a plus 4b squared. So that's how we factor a perfect square trinomials. How about if the given is the sum and difference of two cubes? So it is a must to memorize the following perfect cubes, like 1. This can be written into 1 cube. 8 can also be written in exponential form 2 cube. 27 can also be written into exponential form 3 cube. I want you to remember this because we will be using this later. Okay. So we have two situations in difference and sum of two cubes. The first example is the sum of two cubes. Example number 2 is the difference of two cubes. So if it is the sum of two cubes, the factors looks like this, a binomial and a trinomial. So actually, it is more on familiarization, and you need to memorize this, or if you are not good in memorization, you can uh, look at the pattern. Actually, it is so easy, just look at the pattern. If it is addition, so the first binomials are also addition. Okay? If it is subtraction, the first binomial of the factor is also subtraction. Then in this case, in the trinomial, only the middle term is minus. But if the cubes, if it is the difference of two cubes, all the trinomials are positive. So it's up to you how are you going to remember this. So these are just the patterns. Okay, so we're going to apply this in our given. Our given is x cubed plus 27. Okay, so is this the sum of 2 cubed? We are pretty sure that the first term is cubed, obviously, because of this exponent of 3. How about 27? So a while ago, I told you that this 27 can be transformed into exponential form, and that is 3 cubed, because 3 times 3 times 3 is 27. Because we want this to look like this one. For us to expect, the factor looks like this. So we are now ready to factor this by using this pattern. So we will prepare a binomial factor and a trinomial factor. So for the binomial factor, we'll just copy this, x and 3. Okay, so we're done with the first binomial factor. Then for the trinomial factor, it is the same with this, x cubed. We'll just subtract the exponent by 1. It becomes x squared, like this. Then the last term, 3 cubed, we'll just subtract the exponent by 1. It becomes 3 squared, like that. How about the middle term? How about the middle term here? We just multiply them. Then write the opposite of the sign. So 3 times x, 3x. The opposite is negative 3x. And we already have the factor. So what's the difference between the two? So we just simplify 3 squared into 9. So this is now the factor. Last example, 8 minus a cubed. Is this a difference of 2 cubes? We only see one of the term is a perfect cube. But how about the other one, the 8? Yes, it is. 8 can be transformed into 2 cubed. So this pattern now looks like this. So it means we can expect that the factors look like this. So we can follow this pattern. So remember, this is minus. The first binomial is also minus, and the trinomials are all positive. So let's go. Let's write the parentheses. Then write this 2 minus a here. And we're done for the first binomial factors. Then for the trinomial factors, 2 cubed, we'll just subtract 3 minus 1, so it becomes 2 squared. Then for the last term, a cubed, so 3 minus 1, it becomes 2. So that is a squared. Okay? So how are we going to get the first term? Just multiply them. X times y, negative xy, then get the opposite, it becomes positive xy. So the same case here, 2 times negative a, it's negative 2a. The opposite is positive 2a, and we already have the factors. Just simplify this 2 squared. 2 times 2 is 4. So finally, our answer is quantity 2a, 2 minus a times quantity 4 plus 2a plus a squared.